They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the laughter? Hold your tongue and hold your breath. Is it life or just a softer They sell a dream in a velvet case with lace and
Hello, this is Piper.
rules to keep
Welcome to the Happy Submissive podcast. Oh, yeah. Now, thanks for joining me. It's been kind of a long year. Yeah, 2025, 2024 has been a bit of a crazy year. I mean, you guys have been following me forever. A lot of you have been following me forever. I got you right here, right now, on my actual computer. We're gonna make this into 3 parts. First part is what I've been doing the past 2 years approximately. Second part is gonna be everything you need to know about my book. I think that kind of a bit like spoils the first part, but that's fine. And part 3 is gonna be the new movement I'm working on. That is all related to the book and what I've been doing for the past year and like year and a half. Yeah. So welcome. Thank you for being here, all of you who are either in love with Piper Blush or have been in love with Piper Blush for the past, 10 years, almost 11 if you found me before YouTube, because yes, there was a Piper before YouTube. Some of you might recall or remember the art of. I'm not going to say the rest of that name on here because then this video is going to be no more. And talking about all of the YouTube nostalgia, let's go down memory lane a little bit. Because, I've been on YouTube for almost, let's give or take it, 8 years. So it knows how to write, read, record, and even do TikTok videos at that age. And throughout all these years, well, when I started the channel in 2017, the Piper Blush channel, we actually called it The Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Submissive Girl. And now, as you can see on the channel, it's not there anymore. I had to change it because of YouTube's policy, community guidelines, and all of that. So this tagline disappeared from, disappeared from YouTube, disappeared from everywhere else. But that's how it all started. I'm pretty sure some of you who were there in the beginning will recall this and remember that I was there doing daily vlogs for almost, I think, close to 9 months. Then, demonetization happened and other things happened. I wasn't filming every single day. But for a good 9 months, there was daily videos. So you were with me every single day for like the time it takes to make a baby, which is crazy if you think about it. I know that nowadays times have changed and you can see people posting 5 times a day on their social media, and you can be with them throughout their entire days and life even more than before. But back then, 1 video a day was already huge. It was big. So some of you will remember that that's how it started, and that included kitchen tips, Will It Fit Friday, the show where I try on the mystery clothes. And then we even diverged. We created another channel for Will It Fit Friday. We created a French channel. We created so many channels and so many shows. And after a while, got demonetized from YouTube. So many things happened that decided to open our own platform, video platform that mixed kind of Patreon and, that other website that we're not going to talk about here. So did all of this, all of my fans followed suit and we had a great time. Then I was on and off YouTube because depending on how the community guidelines were going and just how I was feeling, it was just harder to create the type of content that like I wanted to create on YouTube, which was, I guess now looking back at it, a bit of a sexy comedy type content. I tried Two Girls, One Electric Car. That was to review superchargers, Tesla superchargers. Did that like a whole bunch of last year, or the year before, sorta, kinda, yeah, a year and a half ago. We started a whole bunch of other types of like these tiny channels to try to do the niche thing. You get one thing and you do that. Before that, we did the podcast, which was like a radio station against AI for humans. And we were broadcasting live like every single day for about 4 months. It was crazy epic. We were doing this like all day, every day. And we had a fabulous audience, but also, I mean, that was a lot. Having a radio station was like a lot more than I could have ever imagined when you're just a small team. So all of this was happening, and all of these projects were great. But at the same time, at one point, I just realized that, well, it had been 10 years, life flies by, like they say. And within this 10 years, at the beginning, when starting Piper Blush and YouTube and all of that, always wanted to make a book. The book titled Why Submissive Women Are Happier. And you might have heard about it or seen it or even read some blog posts about it from these early days. But as life went and as I became viral and famous and everything just went crazy, well, I decided to more concentrate it on like the actual YouTube, all of my own websites and my erotic content, adult content, all of that, and just put the book on the side for now. But about a year and a half ago, well, had a not life-changing experience, but had like a few experiences over the years and decided it was about time that I write that book. Because of all of these projects and all of these things happening in my life that have been like crazy, I decided, okay, now I have 10 years of experience. Now I'm older. Now it's time for me to write my memoir. To write everything that's been happening to Piper, but behind the scenes. Oh, yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being there. And of course, well, I'm going to go in the details of how this all came to be and all of this happening. Because it's been a, crazy, whatever, journey. What's happening? Where can you buy the book? Okay, super easy. You can buy the book here. Let me put it here. This is the website where you can buy the book, mdelacroix.com. And this leads me to some of the stuff you might have seen on the internet recently, and it is the fact that I have two names. Yes. So there is the Piper Blush you've always knew. Some of you knew that it was not my real name. It's like sometimes I admit I did say that it was my real name to people, but Piper Blush is an artist name. It's a name like, I don't know, Lana Del Rey, or some people use other names like Lady Gaga. That's not her real name, just so you know. So I've chosen, well, with my master, chosen the name Piper Blush. That was the name under which I did most of my adult content. And then afterwards, well, the whole YouTube channel and everything I did in the face of the public was really under Piper Blush. But I have a real name, yes, as most people do. And my real name is Marian de la Croix. Yes, that's French, but Marian de la Croix. And this is the name under which I published my book. Because I will get into it in a second. So for those of you who are sad or are like, oh my God, I feel like I've been played. Well, don't feel like that. I mean, I do love Piper Blush to do all of the things I want to do as Piper Blush. I think it's great to have this kind of, persona, this to embody a name and someone and to just go for it. And that's exactly what Piper allows me or allowed me to be and to do. To be this feminine muse self, this hyperactive, bubbly, and excited person that I am. I mean, she is a part of me. She is me. Like, you can't just, not be yourself in that way. So, Piper Blush is me. I am Piper Blush. Though, the YouTube, at one point, like I said, it took off. We became viral. And there's so many people everywhere. So, it kind of took its own form. You can't do everything, right? You need to kind of do what people want and what you want to do. And that just so happened to be what I've been doing with Piper Blush for the past 10, 11 years approximately. And I've loved every bit of it. But I've decided that it was time to kind of, grow, evolve. And that I wanted to try another medium because I've always written. I mean, I've written all of the blog posts you've read for Piper Blush, all of the newsletter that you receive every Thursday or Friday, depending. Well, that's all me writing. And then all the comment sections and all the people that I watch and read your comments and reply to your comments. This is all me writing. Yeah, writing to you. And so I have been writing for like ages since I was young, but I've been writing as Piper Blush for the past 10 years intensely and studying and analyzing and looking at all of my, well, mostly male audience, of course. And just collecting these data because I always had in mind that I was going to make a book about Piper Blush, about how I became Piper Blush and everything that happened to Piper Blush on the internet. And that was like awesome. It was amazing. I mean, it was the perfect book until I started writing it. Yeah, until I started writing it. And then I realized that, well, I couldn't just write about Piper Blush. Because, well, you've already known Piper Blush. You've seen Piper Blush on the internet everywhere. You can just Google me right now and you'll see a whole many things there. And that's great, but I feel like Piper Blush, and I've said this, but I will say this again, Piper Blush is the tip of the iceberg. She's really like the 10% that sticks out of the water that you've seen and loved for the past years that you've followed me. Even if it's a year, 2 years, or maybe you've been here since the beginning in the art of, well, all of Piper has already been on the internet and posted. So I realized that actually I needed to write what was not on the internet and what I tried to make people be like me, be happy, find their way, be financially independent, be beautiful women, that can make a living with their skills and their beauty, for sure, their femininity. Of course, like my background being adult entertainment and just entertainment in general makes it so that's what I wanted to share with other girls, mostly, and teach them how to do that. But when it failed a few times, I realized that maybe my approach was not the best, so why not write a book about it so that more people could possibly change their lives? Because, when you're there with someone, sometimes you try to tell them, but it just doesn't come through or they don't get it. But if they're alone reading a book and they don't feel this kind of, pressure, or they don't know you that well, maybe they're going to assimilate the book in a different way. They're going to think about the whole thing in a different way. And that is more powerful because I can reach more people, but also they get to kind of do this journey on their own. And maybe that's the way it's meant to be for some people, which wasn't my journey, as I say in my book. But still, it is a journey, yeah. And so, I want to take this time with you here to tell you all about the book. Now, why submissive women are happier. That is the title of the book. I'm going to give you about a minute to leave a comment and tell me what you think about this title. What do you think this book is about? Yeah, I want your opinion right here, right now. So do it. I'm going to put some music while you actually think about this.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie
Alright, this is Piper again, and well, thank you for tuning in and being here. Now, as I promised, we are gonna talk about my book. I spent a year and a half writing this, but actually, I feel like I spent my whole life writing this, but mostly the last 10 years. Why Submissive Women Are Happier. That is the title, and right here you can see my name, M. de la Croix. Yes, that's why you can find the book right now. It's available in audio, yes, like an audiobook, and in ebook, so you can just download it from your Android phone, your Apple phone, or from your computer or tablet, and read it right now. Whoa, we have a book purchase. Thank you so much to the person who bought the book right here, right now. I'm gonna drop the link right here. And so it's fairly easy and it doesn't need anything. We are not on Amazon yet or on any type of sites because I just launched the book on the 3rd of October. So it's been fairly recent and I am wanting to get these like early reader feedback before I go to these main big platforms in case I need to do a little bit of editing in there. So I want your feedback. It's really important to me, especially as Piper Blush fans. You've seen all of like the Piper Blush story from what I posted on the internet. And this book is everything you haven't seen. It's all the behind the scenes from my childhood to actually meeting Master and to what happened with YouTube. Like everything we've done on YouTube after that. The fame, the craziness, the stalkers, it's all in there. But most importantly, what is in there is the way I felt. It's how I became this person that you now see in front of you. This like happy submissive person. So the book says it all. But the most important thing is that when I started writing this book, I was like, okay, this is going to be a Piper story, like I said. But finally, I decided that it was not going to be a Piper story. It was going to be a me story. It was going to be all the things you haven't seen or that I wasn't able to tell you because I was just doing Piper and doing the things that Piper did, like Will It for Friday. And of course, we had a few chances to do Q&As and to dive a bit deeper. But unfortunately, due to some of the community guidelines and things like that, when I started Sinful Sundays or when I started podcasts like Love, Lust, and the Devil, where I wanted to talk more about relationship, about sex, about all these themes that I really, really like, well, they mostly got shut down or they were very censored. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be censored this time, but I will try to have it so that it isn't. Although the title of the book, I know, is quite self-explanatory, but most people get it wrong. And that's what I love about the title, Why Submissive Women Are Happier. Because it is true that I am a submissive and that I do have a master. And in the book, you'll get to read how I met Master and how we got together, why we got together, all of these things. Our first few nights together and then, the rest of our life together because we have been together for 11 years now. So it's been a crazy ride and you've assisted to some of that in like a completely different way. So in the book is all of this, all of the stuff that I couldn't show you, couldn't tell you, haven't shown you, haven't tell you. It's all in there. And like I said, you can definitely get it right now on mdelacroix.com. It's in the comment section right here, right now. And you just download it and you can listen to it or read it. And I love the fact that it's so easy, like to do that right here, right now. But also love the fact that so many people think that Why Submissive Women Are Happier is a book about like BDSM, which it is not. It is not. I mean, of course, there are some BDSM aspects because there is power dynamics, there's hierarchy, and there is my submission for sure. And there is some sexual content in there. Yes, a few sex scenes. Because, it's an adult book. It's not for kids necessarily. But it is literature. It is a book. And the book is how I was this person that if you would have seen me right now, right here, against myself, you would have never said, this is Piper Blush or this is Marian de la Croix. You would have said, who's that girl? She just looks like she's lost and anxious and not what you see right here, right now. This took some time, some effort, and it took it took a master, it took an artist, it took someone to sculpt me into who I am right now. I wasn't like that. Like this is all explained in the book. And if you're a man, which you probably are because most of my audience is male, well, the book is also for you. It's not just for women. Although this is my experience and the way I've lived through this, like my submission and finding a master and all of these intricate things. But in the end, there's also my perspective on who Master is and what he brought me within our relationship. So if you're a man and you're looking for a submissive wife or submissive partner in some way, and I'm not saying BDSM way necessarily, but you would like for your partner, wife, or girlfriend to be happy and to be a submissive in all it means to be a submissive, and you would like to be the dominant male or the master of your couple, well, this can definitely give you cues. I mean, I've wrote it as myself, as a woman from her 20s to her early 30s, but I feel like it's just like men are from Mars, women are from Venus. There's both sides there because it has allowed me to understand men a lot better. I mean, just to have this 99.9% male audience for the past 10 years, to have only male fans, and to also have a man close to me that shares with me everything men think or do or want in a very honest way, and not in a toxic masculinity way, or not even in a way that a man, like macho man or all these things, but in just general normal man. I mean, and this is very rare. I feel like women, blah, 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 blah. They talk a lot. I mean, I'm even on an app and I meet girlfriends and it's always like, oh yeah, I'm looking for someone to yap with. And I find this word so weird, like yapping. Why would you say that? But it's cool. I mean, I still love women too. But the thing is, men don't have the same abilities for talking and the same way to express themselves. And with everything that's been happening with #MeToo movement and all of these other movements, the feminist movement, it's made it difficult for men to maybe be just men. And not men that would hurt women, or not men that would want women to be less and not have the right to vote, but just men and women being different people. So my book covers a lot of that. But it also covers my perspective and how I live through all of this. And that's why I want to connect with more people who feel like the way feminism has been in society right now. Of course, it's more of a North American view because I am from Canada. But it has not worked for them. They tried all these things. They tried normal relationships. They tried working together in the 50-50 balance. And they might have even tried to be in like jobs and tried to go up the ladder, but they just didn't find happiness doing that. It didn't work for them. They didn't have either the support or they didn't feel fulfilled. I mean, this is what happened to me in my early 20s, and that's why I sought out something completely different. And when I say completely different, I mean completely different. I'm not saying that everybody should go the way I did and just go on sugar baby websites. That's not what I'm saying. I think it's a possibility, but you don't need to necessarily go there and do that. Though I do feel that if you try something completely different, then you will meet people that are completely different from the people that are around you. And that's what I needed to get out of the situation and the people I was around. I wanted more from life, and these people were just not going to bring me that. So where'd you go? If you want to be rich and famous, well, you go with the rich and famous, and that's why we have the Hollywood dream. But if you want to be a plumber, you go where the plumber are, and that's also fine too. There's no wrong way necessarily, but what is wrong right now is that there's not enough people who submit consciously to get to where they want to be. And I'm talking about conscious submission to a person, not to a god or to a fate or to something like, no, to someone who can like wake you up in the morning, tell you what to do so you can get to where you want to go. That type of submission. And so why submissive women are happier, although is an awesome title, is really about all of that, about how conscious submission can bring you further in life than either your own independence or especially unconscious submission, which most people actually do. They submit to a whole bunch of things and they don't even like ask themselves why they're doing it or if it's worth doing or if the person, like the boss, is a good person and if this boss is actually bringing them to where they want to be in life. So all of that being said, I want to go over, well, the next phase. Because now that the book is written, it's like it's done. I got a product, it's ready, it's a book. But a book is just a book. It's words, and I love it. But I want to start a movement. It's not I want to, I am starting a movement. And so I'll give you another minute, yes, to drop your comments, to tell me if you agree, disagree, if you have a feminine friend who would definitely disagree with me, please share the video with her right now, because the conversation is open. It's not so much a debate that it is a conversation. Let's just keep everything open for now. I want your opinion. If you're a man and you're like, I would never do that to a woman, or like I've got that from men, like, oh, remove your collar. Do you even know what my collar means? I mean, I tell it all in the book. So you drop that comment for me right here, right now, and I'll come back to tell you more about the movement.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the laughter? Hold your tongue and hold your breath. Is it life or just a softer day?
All right, let's talk about the movement now. Because, like I said, the book is my life story. It's all I preach, I guess, all I am, all that I've ever been. And if you've been following Piper Blush for the past 10 years, you've known that I've been collared for almost over 8 years, probably 9 now. Married for almost 5 years, well, in the finger on the ring way, because married in my I guess book is the collar. The collar came way before the actual wedding, but like those are different things for me. But they're one and the same for most people. And what I'm trying to say is that you've known all of this, like you've known all the exterior, but all of the interior is really in the book. And I've tried so hard to push that out in the world for the past 10 years. Like the extraordinary life of an ordinary submissive girl was that. Piper Blush at the beginning, the YouTube, the daily vlogs, it was really only about pushing this, I guess, this philosophy of life, this lifestyle, about exploring my own submission and how it made me feel and what was happening in my life in accordance to that. And that's why I had blog posts, I had vlogs, I had the newsletter. I had so many ways to expand and explore my femininity, my womanhood. I mean, sexualization, hypersexualization by being in an industry that is, well, is just that. I mean, pornography is the objectification of the female body. But the way I was doing it, I never felt it that way. I felt like it was erotic art, which for me was completely different. It was a way to express like female desires and to show your female body in a way that of course was erotic and of course makes people masturbate, but doing it in a way that feels like it's not fake or it's not it's not pre-written. You're just kind of embracing it and doing it. I guess that's why I love improvisation and just talking in front of the camera for hours. But I've tried so many collabs, and you know this, with so many other women, and I tried to help them out of prostitution, stripteasing, sugar babying, escort. All these things, I try to make them independent, to make them like me. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I didn't want them necessarily to be me, but I wanted them to be themselves and to be able to be this type of financially independent, happy, and empowered woman, and beautiful woman. And beauty, of course, there's a scientific like standard to beauty, and there's mathematics to beauty. But as hopefully they could be beautiful without just being all of that yet, but at least like find themselves, right? Find their purpose. And I believe that doing that was to have a master or a mistress in any way, but to have somebody to guide you to that, because that's what happened with me. I found master, and he actually sculpted me and formed me to become the woman I was meant to be, but I needed someone. And I feel like everybody needs someone to bring them there. Why does it work when you're a child and your parents show you how to use a spoon? But why, when you turn like 18 or sometimes maybe 22, 25, do we just push you out and, okay, go pay your taxes now? Like, whatever, you can do it. I mean, I feel like there's so much missing in that in-between age from like, I'm going to say 16 to 25, where you're like, how do I transition from being like a teenager to being an adult? Like some people have great parents that maybe facilitated that. Others are more left on their own because their parents don't even know how to teach them that. And then you get into life, you get into school, you get into debt, you get a boyfriend, girlfriend, you get an apartment. Some of them become pregnant, and then you have a family and you're like 20. All of these crazy things, I think, could happen in a completely different way if you find your purpose before you do all of that. And so I tried. Like I said, I tried collaborating with so many women, and I tried to make them find themselves in the same way Master sculpted me and made and helped me do all the things that I wanted to achieve, But unfortunately, I had a lot of, I'm not going to say bad experiences, but it did not work the way I thought it was going to work when Master and I were together, and it worked for me. So that's why I want to create a movement. Because movements are all about awareness, right? It's like nobody recycled because nobody knew you should recycle back in the 1970s-ish, okay? Recycling's been a thing for a while, but it wasn't even in some schools back then. Like, there was no recycle bins. Now we even have compost bins here in Canada, in schools and everywhere. So it took some advertising, it took some publicity, it took some awareness for people to be like, okay, let's recycle now, or okay, let's compost now. So it took all of that for people to start questioning their own core beliefs, right? To start questioning, am I doing this right? Is there another way? Is there a better way? And so the movement that I'm starting right now, I got this idea like yesterday, okay? But it was the idea that I've been like cherishing for the past, I guess, my whole entire life, and for the past 10 years with my life with Master. And that's gonna be the hashtag, not van life, hashtag Happy Submissive. Yeah. Because there is something to be said about submission. Happy Submissive is the fact that you submit consciously to a worthy master to get to where you want to be in life. Now, of course, most of us are kind of lost, especially in our early 20s. We think we know what we want. We don't really know what we want. But in general, we are who we are, right? It's there. It's hidden under everything else. And so if you find just yourself enough to be able to be like, okay, I want this person. I want the skill of this person. Or I want what this person has. And if you go to that root, like this little deep thing in you, that's what you want, even though your family doesn't want that for you, or your friends don't want that for you, or you live somewhere where it's literally not possible and it does not exist. But if it's still something that you feel you want, well, you go find this person that is already embodying that or doing some of that, and then you stick with them. You stick with them for as long as you realize if that's you or not. For me, it was. It completely was. Now, I was not 16 either. I was 23. So it's a bit older maybe in that sense, but still young enough to not really know for sure. And then you submit to them, and they bring you to where they think you can go. And that letting go, that being able to be like, okay, I trust this person enough that they will bring me to what I don't yet see in myself, but surely they see it in me. So that's what happy submissive is. It's not about submissing, like being a submissive for like an hour of sex or 5 hours of sex. I don't know how long you have sex for, but it's not about that. And it's definitely not about a spank on the ass on a Friday or a Saturday. It doesn't matter. Or even on a Monday. It's not about that either. It's really about submitting to become happy. And that's the happy submissive movement. So I'm starting a podcast. I don't know on which one of my channels it's going to be because Piper Blush has so many channels right now that I'm testing all of them to see which one has the most views, the most interactions, and where it would be more, I guess, worth it in that way to do the podcast on. It's going to be a podcast. It's going to be live. But then we're going to take these clips and put them on social media, shorter versions of the clips. And also, well, it's going to be available where you listen to your podcast. Meaning, I listen to my Google HomePod while I shower every morning and every night. Yeah, I take 2 showers a day. So I listen to a whole bunch of podcasts that way, mostly news podcasts, but still. So you're going to be able to call it out and listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. And I think that this is great because the movement is going to be everything that unfortunately I couldn't say when I was or when I am Piper Blush, but also couldn't say in the book. Because as much as the book is all the behind the scenes of Piper Blush and it's how Piper Blush came to be and was created and it's how I became the woman I am right now, there's still so much more ground to cover. It's been like 10 years of crazy life and I'm still living experiences every single day. So the podcast is going to be for that. It's going to be for all of the teams that are still in the spectrum of the book, of my life, of what I believe, and all of these other things that you guys probably want to hear about. And just like everything we've always done, there's going to be some interaction, some feedback, and we're going to choose subjects that we feel will resonate better with all of us in that way. But of course, it's about why submissive women are happier. It's about being a happy submissive. It's about women in the world finding a worthy masters to submit to so that they can become financially independent, empowered, beautiful, and just wonderful people, you know? But that also goes for men. Now, it's not because you're a man that you're like, oh yeah, why submissive women are happier? I'll just give this to my wife. She's going to read it. She's going to be happy. What I think is that if you do that, she's going to ditch your ass. Because this book, is definitely for men too. Meaning if you want a woman that is happy and is submissive and you want to be the leading role in your couple, well, you better get onto it too. Because women are not going to submit to guys or men that have no purpose in life, that don't know what they want, and that don't take care of them. It doesn't work like that. You can't just be a dominant, slap her ass, and then be like, go make me a coffee. Like this is not the type of domination or the type of master I'm talking about. If you want to be that type, that's fine. But this is for more than that. This is for really a happy submissive and a happy life and building something big together as a couple. Being one of these power couples. I mean, finding someone you wake up to every morning that really, like, you don't need an alarm clock. You love your life. You love each other and you keep on building with each other. Why do we even have different jobs as a couple? Why do couples don't have the same type of jobs? Why aren't they together? Isn't that what a couple is supposed to be? I mean, we have society for the rest. If you don't want to create entertainment, that's fine. Somebody's going to create entertainment. But let's say you want to, do agriculture. Well, you better have a wife who likes agriculture too. That way you share something in common. And you can be happy together doing that. And you can teach her how to do it better. This is the whole holistic approach to my happy submissive movement. So to make happy submissives, we also need men who are able to provide. Yeah. And when I say provide, I don't just mean money. I mean skills, I mean wisdom. There's many different ways to provide. It's not about being able to do great knots or being able to slap better than the other guy. No, 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 no. And having a bigger bank account. It's not about that. I say it in my book. I met some guys. One guy with a bigger bank account than Master, and I didn't stay with that guy because that guy didn't have nothing else to offer me. And so I believe that there's a place in the world for this book and for this movement because I've seen so many women being at lost in the world and even hiding their femininity, like hiding their cleavage, feeling like oppressed and not expressing themselves enough. And we've had the feminist movement. Here women can vote. I mean, we still have some work to do on some of the human rights stuff somewhere else in the world and maybe here sometimes too. But in general, I mean, we are here in North America. Well, me and maybe some of you. And we need this purpose. We need women to be beautiful. We need men to want beautiful women and to want submissive women. And women need to want to submit willingly and consciously to be better. For the world to be a better place. Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. Now, I've been Piper Blush for the past 10 years. I'm still Piper Blush, but of course, there's kind of a mixture of identity since I published my book under my real name, Marian de la Croix. Yes. So if you see me in the future days on any of my social media, that could be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, it could be any of my YouTube channels. Well, don't worry. Since I'm moving everything towards the Happy Submissive podcast, yeah, you'll have me, all of these personalities, all of these personas, they're just all gonna be together to create this amazing movement. And I need your help, yeah, because you've been here from the start. And I want to create something big and I want to create something life-changing. So I need as many people as I can gather for us to really have open conversations about what's wrong with the world right now and how we can make it a better place for all genders, not just women. So, giving your girlfriend this book, her being like, okay, bye. Well, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So I think that it needs to come from both parties, right? Women will read this book because it's called Why Submissive Women Are Happier. But men should want to read this book too, because you can't be a man who wants a submissive woman if you don't know what a submissive woman is or what it takes to actually build someone from the ground up. I mean, it takes a lot, but I believe men can do it. And I believe they do it very, very well, especially with women. The only issue is sometimes it doesn't fit. And that's where the relationship goes wrong. Or that's where we have the #MeToo and stuff like that. Because there's something fake in the beginning. And then it just grows weird. Instead of being a true purpose from the start. Yeah. That being said, you should leave a comment right now. Because this is gonna be a crazy adventure. Probably the most crazy, controversial, opinionated, and, well, political adventure I've ever been on. But I think I'm old enough to do that. I mean, Taylor Swift became political when she was about in her 30s, and me and Tay are almost the same age. So I think now's the time. I will still do jump rope sometimes for sure. And you can still find me on all the channels where you usually find me. I still update those. I love to do that. I will always love to be amused and to do erotic whatever. But I need something bigger. I need to convert women to my movement because I want them to be as happy as I am. And I want them to be as beautiful as I am, as open as I am. And I see so many of them who look at me with admiration, but are just not willing or not open enough to do what it takes. So, leave a comment. Dominate women are happier. I am proof. Okay, so you mean like, oh yeah. I was talking to Katrina from Katrina Lashmar, and when I sent her the book for her to read, she was like, why dominant women are happier? She's like, I'm gonna write that book. So I guess, Stacey, you have competition. Like totally competition. I can't wait to read your book and what you think about it, because so far I have not seen it. Like all of the dominatrix I've seen have less money than me, are less happy than me, are not even in relationship with men in general. They're either kind of so exhausted or unhappy with men that they hate men. They hate the gender, the entire gender. I mean, and this is not the way it should be. We are two genders on the planet and all the other ones now. But I mean, you can't go about your life hating half the planet. This doesn't make any sense. So it will be wonderful to have all of your comments, opinions, and discussions. Please do share this with everyone you know who you think it might spark a conversation or not. Oh, for some reason the cam died. Okay, great. Well, we still have some sound, I guess. So I'll say you goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next one. So make sure that when you find me, wherever you find me, either it's on Marian de la Croix or on Piper Blush, well, you follow me because this next big adventure is gonna be one for the books.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we are?